We need to talk about India and Pakistan. All I want to do is finish Season 2, Episode 2 of The Last of Us, and it seems like world events just keep popping up to prevent me from finishing that show. Feels like I'm never going to finish that episode. By the way, if you know what happens in Season 2, Episode 2, don't tell me, okay? Anyway, I want to talk about the recent escalation between India and Pakistan, specifically Operation Sindoor, which is India's name for the attacks. I also want to talk about Pakistan's retaliation claims and possibilities, circulating rumors of downed Indian jets, specifically the Rafale, and what happens next. So let's break down the actual facts. Now, before I get started, literally just yesterday, I actually released a book about some airstrikes of my own called The Last Republic, which imagines a world where Mormon Prophet Brigham Young founded his own Nation of Deseret instead of the state of Utah. It's kind of like Man in the High Castle, Draca series, Guns of the South. And what's crazy is that the strikes India just performed are actually very similar to what happened in Deseret in my novel. Anyway, it's available on Amazon now. And Captain Moroni's Squadron t-shirts are available at Bunker Branding. Audiobook for Marines coming real soon. So on May 6th, India launched Operation Sindoor, which targeted either 5 or 9, depending on the sources you have, sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. This was in response to the April 22nd attack in Kashmir, where 26 Indian tourists were killed. Now, a Sindoor, by the way, is a mark that is applied to the hairline of some married Hindu women. India asserts that the strikes were just targeted at terrorist infrastructure linked to certain terrorist groups like Lashkar al-Taiba, Jaish al-Mohammed. Last week, I made a video where I said I didn't think that India would have a huge response. And the reason is actually pretty simple. I actually don't think that there's going to be a huge response from India. And it's kind of looking like I was right about that. This wasn't a huge response. These were guided strikes against a handful of specific areas. It seems like the Pakistani military was kind of left out of this. Now, India does emphasize that the strikes were very precise with the intention of avoiding Pakistani military facilities. It's starting to look like that might be true. And what this does is it gives Pakistan a little bit of breathing room to de-escalate. However, Pakistan did report civilian casualties, including children, and they condemned the attacks as an act of war. Pakistan claimed to have shot down 5 Indian fighter jets, including 3 Rafales, a Sukhoi 30, and MiG-29. They also reported civilian casualties from artillery exchanges along the line of control, which is the name of the border region between India and Pakistan in Kashmir. Now, India has not confirmed any aircraft losses, although this really isn't something you can hide for very long. India does have a free press, and it is a democracy, although it is kind of slowly slipping into authoritarianism under Prime Minister Modi. But, in a democracy, you can't keep a shoot down from the press. There's going to be investigations, soldiers are going to post pictures of battle damage, stuff's going to end up online and get leaked to the press. So if any Indian jets were shot down, we're going to know. Might not be tomorrow, but eventually we're going to find out that India lost some jets. There is another thing here. Is it even possible for Pakistan to shoot down up to 5 Indian jets? It's certainly possible. And this has nothing to do with the skill of Pakistani air defenders or a possible lack of skill with Indian Air Force pilots. It really comes down to India's lack of dedicated SEAD or suppression of enemy air defenses platforms. Sometimes you hear this called wild weasel. And that's where you kind of bait surface-to-air missiles into firing at you, flight of the intruder style.
Sam just lifted off, 1 o'clock. Oh, Jesus, there's another one. It's not even fun until they send up 3 at once. And that's 4. You happy now?
And then you fire an anti-radar missile down the guidance beam back toward the surface-to-air missile launcher that fired at you.
And shoot, shoot.
Really, only the U.S. and China have dedicated SEAD capability. The U.S. has with the F-16CJ, and China has it with the J-16D. Not even Russia has dedicated SEAD, although technically the MiG-31, the C-35 can kind of sort of do the job, but they're not dedicated SEAD platforms. Now, India doesn't have any dedicated SEAD platforms either, so normally before executing this kind of strike, you have the SEAD aircraft go in first, and they find all the surface-to-air missile launchers and they hit them. Now, Rafale and the Su-30 are kind of capable of doing this, but again, it's not a dedicated SEAD aircraft, and SEAD is one of those jobs that you better be good at, right? Because you're essentially teasing people into shooting at you. And you don't get to make a mistake with that. Well, you get to make one mistake with that, right? So India really doesn't have any dedicated SEAD aircraft, so I think it's possible that their strikes may have been exposed to more Pakistani surface-to-air missile fire than perhaps India was expecting. So like I said, it is possible that Pakistan could have shot down up to 5 Indian planes, but I can't give you a percentage confidence on that. It's just something you're going to have to wait for, and I would say it's most likely a result of India not really having that suppression of enemy air defenses capability ingrained in their military the same way the United States and China does. So speaking of these shootdowns, amid all the chaos, there were these rumors that kind of circulated online, and God knows how this is going to freaking end up. But posts claim that Pakistan shot down Indian Rafale jets. They had images circulating showing wreckage purportedly from these jets. However, there are some fact checkers who debunked these claims, and the images were from like older incidents that are unrelated to the current conflict. And this kind of highlights the importance of verifying information before sharing, especially during conflicts where misinformation can escalate tensions. Now, the international community is kind of watching this really closely. With both India and Pakistan being nuclear-armed nations, the stakes are pretty high on this. Europe in particular has expressed utmost concern, emphasizing the need for diplomacy and restraint. Now, I didn't think that India would commit to large-scale airstrikes, mainly because Pakistan has such an advantage in asymmetric warfare. It's freaking nuts. And that was actually one of the reasons why I didn't think India would commit to a large-scale attack. It might look good in the newspapers, but what Pakistan could do next would be pretty bad. Pakistan's ISI, their intelligence service, is really, really good at what they do. And they were able to play both sides during America's war in Afghanistan. They had ISI people helping the Taliban. They had ISI people helping America, right? Pakistan is great at this gray zone stuff, right? So, when that attack in Kashmir started, a bunch of people started doing videos about India and Pakistan's militaries. And I had a bunch of people reach out to me and were like, oh, can you do a video about the order of battle between Pakistan and India? And I was like, no, because India does have a larger military than Pakistan, but Pakistan doesn't have to fight that way. Pakistan can use asymmetric forces to fight India. India has 211 million Muslims. I guarantee you that Pakistan can find, let's say, 1,000 radicals who want to become martyrs. And now you have October 7th times 100. Or as Team America said,
from what intelligence has gathered, it would be 9/11 times 100.
9/11 times 100? Jesus, that's...
Yes, 91,100.
Which is kind of funny and kind of not. India might have the ability to perform precision strikes against Pakistan, even if it is at a cost, maybe. But Pakistan has the ability to terrorize 1.4 billion Indians with only 1,000 martyrs. And you can't bomb your way out of that. You just can't. So yeah, as much as I hate to say it, I don't know what's going to happen next, but Pakistan could make India's life really crappy right now, especially if Pakistan struck back with asymmetric forces. It's also going to be interesting to kind of track the disinformation coming out of India and Pakistan regarding the strikes and the upcoming conflict, if there is any. Russia and India are allies. India also has an extensive network of click farm and bot companies. Pakistan is mostly aligned with China, and China has an extensive network of click farm and bot companies. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Be very, very careful arguing with anyone online about this topic because you're probably speaking to a bot, right? It would actually be kind of funny if just Pakistan and India just argue each other through bots, right? Whoever wins, social media loses, right? Hey, again, Last Republic, available out now on paperback and Kindle, Amazon. The audiobook is coming soon if you're a Marine. Get your Captain Moroni squadron gear, bunker branding. I even have Captain Moroni patches. I would love for someone at Hill Air Force Base to put this on and pose next to an F-16. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm finally going to go watch The Last of Us.
In a world where fashion meets firepower, where style becomes strategy, it's time to gear up for the ultimate mission with Bunker branding. Introducing the Rock Out With Your Chalk Out t-shirt, a tribute to the fearless air cavalry. Feel the adrenaline rush as you don the pride of the skies. For those of you who dare from the air, precision and power unite when you think outside the bomb. And don't miss our Live, Laugh, Launch t-shirts for Patriot and HIMARS, because sometimes defending freedom means bringing the thunder. Finally, for the true defender of the seas, we present Department of the Boat People. Sail with honor and show your allegiance to the world's mightiest maritime force. With these shirts, hoodies, and stickers, along with the tow missile, landmines, and drone warfare. These aren't just shirts, they're statements. They're your way of saying I stand for strength, unity, and style. Get yours at Bunker Branding today.